Now, EduWatch and representatives of over 600 civil society organizations working to promote access to quality basic education and social protection in Ghana have submitted a petition to the board of the International Monetary Fund, IMF. The petition calls on the IMF board to remove brutal expenditure cut in Ghana's basic education sector, arising from Ghana's bid to meet conditionalities for its extended credit facility application. My colleague Kweku Asante joins with details of the petition. Kweku, tell us more about this particular petition.
So this petition from Africa Education Watch and over 100 other civil society organizations reference series of meetings that the IMF staff in Ghana held with these civil society organizations, assuring them, according to this statement and according to this letter transmitted to the IMF, that the IMF deal will ensure that cuts to pro-poor policies will not happen. Indeed, let me reference that. It says that prior to this staff level agreement, civil society representatives in Ghana held 2 meetings with the IMF team in Accra, during which the IMF assured participants of its commitment to protect social protection and related budget from expenditure cuts as part of the expenditure rationalization. They reference specific areas such as the basic education, school feeding program, and cash grants to the poorest. They say, however, that the medium-term expenditure framework presented to the IMF by the government of Ghana, including the expenditure allocations in the budget statement for 2023, has specific cuts. First, a 12% of the national budget allocation allocated to education, 11% projected expenditure to education in 2024 and 2025, 3% GDP allocation to education in 2023, as well as a 25% decline in the projected expenditure allocation for the basic school feeding program in 2025. They have concerns that if these things are carried through, education in Ghana will suffer, and so they are petitioning the IMF, asking them to intervene and ensure that government does not make these cuts.
Interesting. But again, do they indicate in the statement whether they've tried to engage government for some explanation on what they've identified?
Indeed, the concern some have expressed that usually such conversations should be had with the local government and not IMF, because this is a homegrown IMF solution that government will be presenting to the IMF for approval. And so if there are any conversations, that conversation must be first had with the government of Ghana before it may be escalated to the IMF. In this letter, nowhere does it state that some conversations have been had with the IMF and government officials locally to ensure that they get their buy-in before the IMF board will take that into consideration before an approval will be granted Ghana. It is not clear if said talks have been had in the background and not only referenced in this letter, but this letter does not say so.
All right, Kweku, I'm grateful for these updates. We're trying to raise the Deputy Ranking Member on Parliament's Education Committee, Dr. Clement Park. We'll get him in a subsequent bulletin at 12.